He's also been known as the super agent, representing many first-round professional football players for many years, and the founder, owner of the Houston Gamblers professional football team, and much more. Y'all remember that curriculum I brought y'all that we looked into? He's gonna talk to you all a little bit about that. You'll get a chance to ask him questions. He can ask y'all questions. But check this out. Yo, this is my daddy. Okay? Welcome, Dr. Jerry Argovtiz.
All right, baby. Oh, love you. Well. You made my heart sing. Thank you. Only half of that's all true. I'm not sure which half. I've known this girl for an awful long time. She's my superstar. She is doing God's work. You know, in life, it's not where you start. It's how you finish. And she could have been sitting out there with y'all with one of your white uniforms on. So you see where she is today. This just doesn't happen because that's what you want to happen. You got to make an effort.
I'm going to give you this one because it's louder.
It's louder. Oh, it's all I need. Good. Well, I got here, so I guess none of us going anywhere, right? So I'll be here with you. I'll probably sit down a little bit.
Let's see, Dad.
We'll get it just a little bit. I want to stand up and want to see everybody. I was born at a very early age in a small town called Borger, Texas. Who in here has ever heard of Borger, Texas? All right. Well, the big town around Borger was Amarillo, Texas. Now, my life, I was born a Jewish kid. 20,000 Gentiles in Borger, Texas, tough town. 6 Jewish families. The truth is, I thought "you bastard" was one word. So I was really small as a kid. I was, small. Texan kids are much bigger than I was. And the truth is, I used to have 2 fights every day of my life. It seemed like one going to school and one coming home. One day I remember I had a tough beating. I had 2 kids jump on me, and I wasn't afraid to fight. Now I didn't win many of them, but I did fight. My dad came home and he saw me. I had a black eye, cut lip, my shirt was torn, and Dad sat down with me and he said, "Son," he said, "in life there's options." I didn't even know what the word really meant. I said, "Dad, what's an option?" He said, "Well, son, if you get in trouble sometimes you have to just walk away, or you may have to run away." He said, "The second option is you need to maybe be able to talk your way out of it. Say, hey, we don't need to fight, let's talk about it, or just see if you can talk them out of it." And he said, the third thing is, if you're going to keep getting into fights, I suggest you learn how to fight. Well, the first thing was, I didn't think I was fast enough to outrun these big kids. And the second thing is, rather than talk to them, I knew if I was going to get in a fight, I was going to get the first lick in. So I was thinking when and where I was going to hit him. And the third thing is, I decided I was tired of all this crap. I was tired of being called names. I was tired of kids calling my mother or my grandmother names. And I was tired of them teasing me and making me the goat of the class. I was usually one of the last kids chosen to play on the field when you playing football or basketball to shoot up teams. So one day, I was at the time, I weighed about 80 pounds. So I decided to do what my dad said. I wanted to learn how to fight. So I started in the Golden Gloves. You know, in Texas, we got an old saying. You know, if you tell the truth, you're not bragging. So you stand up here and talk about yourself, they say, this idiot, what's he talking about? Well, everything I say to you, you can take it to the bank. Nobody knows my life better than me. So I began to fight, and before I was finished, you know, anybody ever heard the Golden Gloves before? In those days? Back in those days, which was a few years ago, Golden Gloves was a big sport in the state of Texas. And we lived in the Panhandle, which is, Amarillo was a big town, and that whole region, and that's where they had the finals for the regional Golden Gloves, was in Amarillo, Texas. Well, I wound up winning. I was the lightweight champion. The next year I got a little bigger, became the welterweight champion. The next year I got a little bigger. I became the middleweight champion. And the last year I fought, I was in the University of Texas playing football, and I fought in the Golden Gloves in the state meet, and I became runner-up in the state of Texas as a light heavyweight champion.
Wow.
And I can tell you this, nobody called me you bastard anymore. You know, bullies like to dish it out, but you know, they don't like to take it. Kind of like a male dog, you know how they work? Yeah. Okay, you got it. So to be here today with this young lady, we go back a long time. Can I tell our story?
Huh?
Can I tell our story, the truth?
Yeah.
You really sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I better sit down for this because I don't want her on me.
My arm's too short to box with Jerry.
I met Kathy Griffin. She was about 18 years old. She married one of my football players that I was representing. And beautiful girl. And she had a great voice. She could have been a real singer. I mean, that's the thing she was always talked about, being a singer. And you know, they were married, and I became a sports agent. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But anyway, they had a discord with her husband and Kathy, and she came to me, and I gave her a job in my office, taking care of scrapbooks and doing things around the office. And I gave her professional singing lessons. Remember that?
I do. Bud Cunningham.
Oh, yeah, Cunningham.
I remember.
And after a few years, she went her way. And
wait, you forgot. Wait,
tell me, which one?
you forgot. Then you was going to make me be the first black country western female singer.
That is true.
Because his best friend in the whole wide world, and he grew up with, went to school with, was Kenny Rogers.
This is all true story.
We can't make this shit up.
So anyway, Kathy kind of went her way,
I got pregnant.
and I lost track of her. How many years was that, you
I got pregnant, had the baby, met Rick James. In 83,
Now, I didn't know any of this.
I went on tour, the Cold-Blooded Tour, with Rick James.
How about that?
And the rest was Black History because I was a crackhead out after that.
So all of a sudden, I get a call one day, and Kathy, and she comes back to me, and this was after you'd been incarcerated.
In and out, in and out, in and out.
I knew none of these things. I knew nothing that happened to her, and my life was moving ahead. I got involved with a lot of different things we'll talk about, but this is our story here right now. And she came back and came to my office, and we sat down to have a talk. I mean, I couldn't believe what I saw. I was heartbroken. I love Kathy. You know, I have 3 children. All 3 of my children are adopted, and she became the 4th child. It's me. When I saw her, my heart sank, because here's a young girl that had all the great possibilities, beautiful, smart, quick-witted, everything positive going for her. And here I see a broken down woman.
With one tooth hanging. A weapon of mass destruction.
I literally cried when I saw her. I mean, she had one tooth. She couldn't even smile. So I looked at her and said, "Oh, smile." She's embarrassed. She talked to me like this. She didn't want me to see her mouth. I reached over and removed her hand. I said, "Smile, Dad, smile." She was crying. And she smiled. She said, "Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." We were both crying. And I said, "What's up, girl? What's going on?" She said, "Well," she told me her life story for about an hour. How she got involved with Horn. She got involved with every kind of drug you can imagine. And I'm surprised she was still alive. All the things that was happening to her, living on the street, broken down. And then she tells me that she had her father. You know, she asked me years ago, she says, she said, this is before we became godfather and daughter. She told me one day about her life. She didn't know who her mother and father really was. She was pretty much adopted by another family who raised her. And she said, and they after that while, they went away, and here she was alone. One day she came to me and she said, this is when she was still straight. She said, would you be my godfather? She said, I have no family. And I was with her when she was 18 years old. I said, looked at her, I said, I will be your father. I love you. So she began to tell me the story that this gentleman that she'd never met before had reached out to her. And the story she told me was, my real father, his name was Robert.
Ed Townsend.
Ed Townsend, excuse me. Robert was the actor.
Robert is his,
Ed Townsend.
might be son, but yeah.
And she said, I said, well, who was that? She said, he was a songwriter, and he wrote the song, for a lot of songs from Marvin Gaye, and Let's Get It On. I said, oh, yeah, he wrote Let's Get It On. She said, yeah. I said, well, I know that song. I said, I definitely know that song. So she was telling me the story, and she says, he is dying. And he reached out to me and asked me if I could come visit him before he died. And she said, I needed some money. She said, I didn't know anywhere to go, who to talk to. I haven't seen her in years. When she walked in,
Tore up from the floor up.
and she sat there and talked to me, and we're both crying. And she says, is there any way you could loan me enough money to go to California on a bus to meet my real father before he dies? I looked at her, and we were having some conversations. And I said, Kathy, I said, I am so taken by seeing you, what's happened to your life. And I'm going to give you some money. I'm going to buy you an airplane ticket. I'm going to give you some money to eat on. And then when you get through being your father, I want you to come back to Houston, and I want us to have a serious conversation. Is that right?
That's right.
Tell them what happened when you left, okay?
So, most of y'all know the story when I met my father. I had just gotten out of my very first drug rehab. I was 26 years old at this point. And I met him. I told y'all I knocked on the door. He came to the door with a big old crack pipe. And he had some naked holes in the room. He did not want me to see him high. Y'all remember the story, the ones that I've told it to? Yes. And he closed the door in my face, and I went down the Sunset and Vine and bought an ounce of cocaine and came back, and I knocked on the door and said, is this what it's going to take for you to tell me who I am? And I was back off to the damn races. Full-blown addiction again for many years. I knew I couldn't tell him. Plus, I'm confused because the only two father figures, Ernest Griffin and Jerry Argovtiz, they didn't live like that. Hell, Ernest Griffin didn't even, only cuss words he said was, he'd sneeze, "Hurt damn it. Hurt damn it." Or he would say, you better hurry and bleed that shit. And Daddy was 1,000,000% focused, business, not stupid, street smart, book smart, business smart. All of that. Now, mind you, my biological father was also an attorney, very famous writer and producer, and an artist. But he was high as a research monkey and drunker than go to bar. And then I finally realized that drug addiction, for real, what they said in that first treatment, can be inherited. Because
absolutely.
The parents that raised me didn't do no dope. They might have drank a Pabst Blue Ribbon here and there, smoked some Riley cigarettes. They go to work and come home. You know what I'm saying? And after getting to know, started learning my father, he loved hoes. And he took care of hoes. He told them to walk down the street with their pockets turned inside out so the pimps won't rob them. He would buy them dope and put them in a hotel to keep them from being out there on the street getting killed. That was his drug-addicted mind thinking he was saving. How many of y'all know them kind of people? We all knew some of them. You can go there and take your bath. They give you some food. You might do something strange for a little dope and some hoe. I'm just saying. He was that kind of rehabilitation specialist. And when I did come back, I didn't know what a blue warrant was. Because when I got busted in Houston, he didn't know about this. I was in the dope house, and I never had no warrants. You know, they just pick me up for getting in the undercover car, some shit like that. So when I went to California, I didn't show up for probation. I must have agreed to probation. I didn't even know what a probation office was, because I ain't never go. So if you don't never go, what they do? I learned what a blue worm was. And they picked my ass up, because when they busted the dope house, oh, my name Kathy Griffin. Well, we have a blue warrant for you. A what? A what? Because I never heard of that. They hooked my black ass up. And they took me to Harris County. And from Harris County, they shipped my ass right here to Plains State Jail. My name in this prison was 803-404-JC. I'm like, what the fuck? They put us in them blue muumuu dresses and them combat boots, and we had to carry them mats down Main Street, right up there. Y'all Cadillacing. Y'all should have come in back in the day. That part. But anyway, let me speed up the story. So I got out.
How long was this afterwards now?
They offered me 2 years, and I was able to come here and do one solid year because they had a traveling choir here. And I was the only piano player on the farm. And they needed me to be the piano player. So I got a lot of good time for that. And I got to leave and go be out in the community when we had to, because our choir belonged to the warden. Her name was Warden Groom. So, they let me be in community service where you catch the bus every day, they give you the journey, we go cut the grass. They still got that? No, I did. This was community service. We left the penitentiary every day. They don't let y'all do that shit. We used to get a chance to stop at the Burger King. I'm just saying. But we had to cut grass at City Hall, the old high school, not this new one when you coming in. And I was the weed eater. They called me weed eater. And we actually cut the grass with hand-push lawnmowers. They ain't had no gas, no current. You know the one with the wheels that do that? So after that played out, I was here, and I was outside yard squad, where I mowed every blade of grass on the Plains State property with that hand-push lawnmower. I showed my dad the tree that I planted in the front of this prison. He said, well, it didn't get mighty big. It was a twig when I planted it. But the truth is, it's still out there and it's living. And I named the tree Jerry today. So, when I got out the penitentiary, I did good for a couple of months, and then somebody say, it's my birthday, come get high with me.
Y'all know that.
Y'all know.
Yes, yes, I do.
I'm just gonna do one hit. I'm just gonna do this one time. Fuck it. Fuck it.
It's my birthday.
Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm back on Liberty Road. Next thing I know, it was raining I was standing on the corner. Car pull up. He said, you want to ride? I said, yeah, can you just take me around the corner? Because I had some dope for the first time, a little bit. I had a little bit. And I had The old man in the rooming house around the corner where I was going, I had his little nickel bag of weed. Because when I smoked crack, I didn't want nothing but crack. And I got in the car. He said, you want to do something? I said, no, I'm good. No, could you just drop me around the corner? He said, you sure you don't want to do nothing? No, I'm good. We pull up, police come from everywhere. I was on a sting. Now, mind you, this was my 3 strikes, you're out. All they caught me with was an empty crack pipe, and when I saw the police, some kind of way I threw the rocks. Watch this, I threw the rocks, and I threw the weed, but I didn't get rid of the pipe. Because that was my best friend, and we was going down together. I'm still one of them people that thought, you know y'all would break a pipe, not
That Brillo out.
that Brillo, it's got something in it. It's like a preacher with a Bible.
Tell the truth.
That's his tool, but I had my Crown Raw bag, it had my stuff, my pipe, my pusher, my... So at any rate, they got me for an empty crack pipe, getting in the car with undercover. I get to court. I get to jail. And they arrested the other hoe with me, my friend. God rest her soul today. And I was coming out of medical, and she was going somewhere. She's like, Gary, you better get in the drug court. They got a new drug court. Drug court. They let me in it. You got to get in it. What the fuck is drug court? Bitch, you better get in it. That's all I'm telling you. You going to go to jail for a long time if you don't. So I dropped to whatever you could, I-60, what is I-60 here? What you call them in the county?
I-60.
Is it I-60 in the county too?
Yeah.
I ain't been in jail so long. Anyway, I dropped it. They brought me in for the interview. Well, how many drug rehabilitation programs have you been in, Miss Griffin? 21. Well, we think you're unrehabilitatable. Huh? And the judge said, no, I think I can help her. I said, huh? With that that weapon of mass destruction act. Because it was real bad by that time. She says, the district attorney's office said I was unrehabilitatable. I would never be sober. She said, I think I can help her. Then I had that dope fiend mentality. Shit, you tell me what I can't do, I'm gonna show you what I can do. Y'all know that?
That's right.
Is that how we act?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we were going to get it and what?
Come back.
Anyway, sorry, Dad. But that judge looked me in my eye and said, if you mess this up one time, you will serve 33 years, day for day. All I had was an empty crack pipe and got an undercover cop. 33 years, day for day. I'd still be in the penitentiary today. I got 13 more years there, I'm just saying. You feel me? I called Dad again. I finally called, Dad, it's me.
This was how many years after when I gave you the money to go to California that you just
Several,
disappeared? How many years?
maybe 10. 8 or
10 years.
8 or 10.
I gave her the money, she's gone. I never heard from her. I don't know what the hell
I
happened
went
to
to
her.
jail in California, everywhere you can go.
I thought she was dead. I had no idea what happened to her.
You know. So I called him back, out the blue. And I let him know I was in this new program called the STAR Drug Program, Success Through Addiction Recovery. and I was a guinea pig. And they told me if I mess up one time, they're going to give me 33 years day for day. He said, I'm going to cut this short and tell you what it is. If you mess this up, lose my number.
That's when.
And I started, we've been there, done that. I was explaining that to him. I said, because all the rehabs I'd been to, nobody ever addressed the prostitution, sexual assault, molestation, incest. They always wanted to talk about the disease of addiction. There's a cell lodged in the base of the medulla oblongata. And the first time your family or anybody gave you a sip of champagne as a child and you had that gene, you were addicted.
Hooked.
Hooked! Hooka. And I've been to so many damn rehabs. And I swore I ain't going back to no more rehab. Until I got in drug court. Number 22, here I is. And I successfully completed drug court.
You were released when you came to my office.
Yep, I came to
Call
daddy.
me.
Here I come again.
And I thought she was
One,
calling from the grave. I had no idea what had happened to her.
and yeah.
You
And I told him what I wanted to do.
Yes.
I had a dream of this.
She came to
Of
my
course it sounded crazy, I'm sure.
She came to my office. Someone earlier mentioned the word, what's your purpose? Who said that? Who used the word purpose in life? Somebody said that here. I heard a while ago. Good for you. Good for you, young lady. What is my purpose in life? And she told me, she said, Dad, please forgive me. I fucked up. I really lied to you, cheated, whored. I've done all the things I thought I wasn't going to do again. And I'm sorry. I know I've disappointed you. And I'm here because I got nowhere else to go. She said, here's my dream. If I can get well, she said, I'm fighting to get well. If I just had a chance, I would like to be able to tell my story because I've been through all this and I know what it's all about. I know this shit gets you as a dead end street. She said, I'm lucky to be alive. She told me her whole story. We sat there for like 4 hours. Everything she just told you, I listened for 4 or 5 hours to her in my office. Her and I. It wasn't like it was joking. It was
Serious.
She wasn't animated. She was telling me as she was crying, and she was praying that I could forgive her. And all she did to me was kept apologizing. I sit there, and I didn't say 2 words. I just listened to her and watched her body actions, and listened to her. And she said, this is my vision, this is my dream. She said, I really think, Dad, that this will be my purpose in life because I can take these good things, the things I learned, and I can go and teach a lot of women, because a lot of women out there just like me. They didn't know where to turn. She said, I can help those women.
Thank you.
I want you to understand something. This is not about me. This is about her. You know, in life sometimes you need second chances. And whatever chances she had before, it didn't matter to me. This was the second chance with me. And I sat down with her and talked to her like I would talk to any of my children and told her how I felt. I said, Kathy, I accept your apology. I said, I'm here to help you. And here's what you got to do. You know what you, I said, I don't need to tell you what you got to do. You know what you got to do. To keep your ass out of jail and off the streets, you better turn to the cheek.
That's right.
So I told her, this is the deal. I'm going to support you. I'm going to help you. And I said, I called a dentist friend of mine. First of all, think about this. How can a person have a life or have an opportunity when you're small and you got no teeth? That's bullshit. I mean, so you walk into somebody, you got 10 people want a good job, they got nice smiles, and you walk in like this. I mean, you don't have an opportunity. I don't care what you do, who you are. I'm going to give you your life back. I'm going to give you another opportunity. And if you screw this up, lose my number. Is that verbatim what I told you?
Exactly. And then God started working expeditiously.
His miracles.
And I started going on national TV. And I had a partial before I had the real shit, right? And I was on the Steve Wilco show like 2 or 3 times, and then I did Dr. Drew. And I took a young lady with me named Lisa Mathis. And she said she wanted to get her life together. And the partial, the front tooth kept falling out, and I had to super glue it. And then when I talked, they would wave. So Dad said, you can't be on national TV with your teeth waving. Because I wasn't messing up. He saw me out there going to get it. And the it was you. And today, I came back with it so he could see it. He sent me to the doctor. I would not allow them to give me any pain medication. And this was major surgery in my mouth. And I went through the surgery, finally. And here's what I got. And something amazing happened. My health got better. My mind cleared up. I got some life back. Then I got some joy that I didn't even know back. Then I got some confidence back. Then people started respecting me. Then I was working in City Hall.
For the mayor.
Yeah. I'm inviting Daddy to go to political shit. Huh? Now can you pick me up on the corner? You got $10. I'm just telling you. And every day it haunted me. If you mess this up, lose my number. And it was something in that tone.
This was the last stop. This was the last chance. She had hit the bottom. And this was when you dig the hole, you get to the bottom of it, stop digging. And that's where she was at the time we had this conversation. I gave her an opportunity to rebuild her life. I said, it's all up to you. If you don't love yourself enough to be able to fulfill your dream and vision, then I'm not going to be with you. If you do this, I'll be there. I will support you. I'll always be around as long as God gives me my life. I'll be here for you.
And then, watch this. Then me and him found out
Sure.
that my daddy, he died the year I got sober, but a few years later, he left me his money, his music. And I'm like, I own Let's Get It On.
You did. You did.
I don't know how to handle no money. Here he come again. I'm a felon. I can't buy no house. He helped me with my house.
What does do? What does do for your house? I found a note, or what does do?
Well, we got Aunt Helen. We put it in her name, and until the money came in, you put the money so I could get the house. Amen. Now,
it's a beautiful home too. I knew it was a good investment also.
yeah, that part. Because if I had fucked up, it was going to be his anyway.
And you wouldn't be living in it.
That's right. I'd be dead anyway if I fucked up this time. But, so, these royalty checks started coming in. And I had enough sense to know, nah, bitch, call your daddy. Because I didn't know what it was to pay a mortgage, and I went and bought my furniture. Wait, they delivered all the furniture. Because I walked in, exclusive furniture. I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that.
Oh, yeah.
Give me that. Okay, Dad, they're delivering the furniture. I get in there, the furniture's sitting up in there, and I go to my bedroom. And I got this bedroom suit. I'm freaking the fuck out. Where's the mattress? Every motel I ever prostituted in had a mattress. I didn't know you gotta buy the mattress separate. I said, well, there was a mattress on the bed when I picked it. You'll be amazed at what we forget that most people would take for granted, that people like us either forgot or never knew.
Yes.
Taught me a lot. And of course, his office managed and paid. I wasn't late, none of that. None of that. Then, here I come and knock the socks off his head. Dad, I have a sheriff badge.
You think down there just the sheriff? I didn't even know him.
They want my program in the jail. How many of y'all did my first program in Harris County Jail? We've been there, done that. Daddy, they give me the key to the jail and a badge. Me and him both like, what? Then I started Our Roadway to Freedom. Dad, I got a program in the penitentiary. I get to actually go home at night. The same penitentiary I did my time in, Dad. What the fuck? Dad, I'm meeting with the head of the whole prison system, Brian Collier, and David Gutierrez, the head of pardons and parole, and Renee Hinojosa over all parole for the state. Dad, I'm meeting these people, and they're coming to my program, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Dad, I'm the human trafficking director for Harris County at the constable. I got 3 badges. Mind you, I got 6 felonies. So I got 4 more badges to go to pass them felonies right there.
This is not the beginning. This is what you started. Like I said, it's not where you started life, it's how you finish. So each one of you that's sitting here, I don't know your background, I don't know what's going on, but think about what I'm going to tell you. Today is the first day for the rest of your life. Let me ask you a question. Who's the most important person in your life? God wants you to be the most important person. But God knows if you're the most important person, you're going to take care of that person. Because God's watching after you, trying to direct you. And if you're not the important person to realize that, then God is, you're going to be lost. You got to love yourself. You can't expect other people to do this work for you. So you can see where she started. And now you can see where she is. She had a purpose in life. She had a goal. We had a plan. We followed it. So each one of you needs to start thinking about your futures and the life. You got to forgive yourself. Don't keep beating yourself up. Hey, there's nobody perfect in this world. Nobody. We all got stepped on something we shouldn't have, done something we maybe not be proud of. That's in the past. There's such a thing as forgiveness. We're going to talk a bit about Jazzy. How did I get here and why am I here? Make a decision today to do something for someone who's struggling for a better tomorrow. It's all not about us in life. But first thing, we got to take care of ourselves to be able to pass it on. Let me ask you a question. If I could buy one car for any of you, one car, you only get one car for the rest of your life, one car, whatever car you want to get, you want a Ferrari, you want a Porsche, you want a Chevrolet, you want a truck, you want whatever you want, and we'll give you one car for the rest of your life. How many would take that deal?
Be honest. No.
Nobody would take that deal?
I can't get a job.
Well, think about this. Okay, think about this. That's who you are. You got one life, you got one brain, you got one heart, and you got to drive this the rest of your life. And if you don't take care of it, if you don't keep the oil in it, you don't keep the tires up, and you don't get the motor fixed when it kind of get breaks down, then you're going to be sitting on the side of the highway. Sometimes we get sidetracked in life. It's very important to have a wake-up call. It's easy to talk about, but if you want something bad enough, it's all achievable. And I'm living proof of that. I was a very average student in school, high school. I didn't know enough to ask the right questions when I was a kid, growing up. But I always knew I wanted something better. I learned a lot of life lessons. I was very fortunate. I had a good family, great mother and father. And sometimes that's a disadvantage because a lot of people don't have a father figure. A lot of kids growing up. So what does that mean? You can't be a victim. It's not your fault. You can't become a victim to it. In life, there's choices and consequences. I got some rules that we talk about. If you make the wrong decision, your life can change, snap of your finger. I mentor high school athletes. And the Jazzy program is what we call the Argovtiz Success Institute. And I'm going to have my curriculum book that I've got back. I've given to Kathy, so she'll pass them out to y'all that you'll have to read and learn. It's what every chapter in this book, if you follow these Jazzy principles, and that is what the motto of, that's what the mission statement is. How to become successful in life. This is something you learn. A lot of times you just don't have it for granted. And you can read 100 books or 500 books. I'm going to give it to you in probably 20 pages in a colorful book. And everything in that I'll put together. And that's what I teach high school kids with, how to become successful in life. A couple of stories that I remember as a kid growing up, I'll never forget. You know what a bar mitzvah is? Okay. Now understand, I had no religious background, living in a small town. There was no rabbi and there was no synagogue. I always knew I was different than other kids, although I'm the same color. And I didn't ever understand quite why I was the butt of people's jokes and people calling me names, making fun of my grandmother. But all that helped me become the man I am today. That's what had happened. So, life is a sport. There's winners and there's losers. Life is like a football game. There's 4 quarters of a football game, right? There's 4 quarters in life. When you're 18 years old, do you realize that 25% of your life is gone? 18 years old. When you're 36 years old, it's halftime. Another 18 years, 3 quarters of your life is gone. So there's time to turn your life around. You can become anybody you want to become if you're willing to do it. Work hard enough, be smart enough, be persistent, be accountable. You only get one shot at this thing. Well, when I was 13 years old, I'll never forget, my father told me a lesson I learned in life. I'll never forget, I was getting ready to go into the church, the temple, and 13 years old. I couldn't read out of the Torah. I had to memorize everything. He sent me to Dallas, the rabbi, and I had to memorize everything at 13 years old. So I'm getting ready to go out, and my dad is on his knee, and I couldn't even tie a tie. My dad was tying my tie, Harry Argovtiz. He's on his knee, tying my tie. And he was talking to me. He said, son, he said, I'm really proud of you today. He said, because today is an important day in your life. I said, Dad, why is it so important? He said, today in the Jewish religion, this is the day you become a man. You become responsible for everything that you do and everything that you didn't do that you should have done. He said, when you come into this world and you're born, he said, you come in naked, with no worldly possessions, and all you have is your name on the birth certificate, Jerry Allen Argovtiz, and the day you're born, your birthday. He said, and when you take the bus out of here, when you pass, he said, you'll have no worldly possessions, you'll be naked, and this is why I put some clothes on you. And he said, all you'll have is your name on a tombstone. Jerry Allen Argovtiz, the day you were born, the day you died. That's pretty heavy stuff for a 13-year-old kid. All of a sudden take this responsibility with these words I still remember today, many, many, many years later. I lived by these words. So, he said, what you have in between the day you're born and the day that you die is called your legacy. That's how people will remember you. He said, the most important thing in your life, listen carefully, the most important thing in your life is being a person of character and integrity. Trust your word, your bond. If you lie, you'll cheat. If you cheat, you'll steal. No matter what you do, you tell the truth. If you ever lie to me, your ass will be out the door. Don't ever lie. My mother really was pretty strong about that too. I learned early on, tell the truth. Man up, be responsible for your actions. If you did it, it meant you did it. Because once you tell one lie, you keep telling 10 more lies, and you're trapped in your own lies.
Let's practice real quick. Watch this. Let's practice real quick. How many of y'all guilty? Now watch this. Let's tell the truth. How many of us really didn't do it? Raise your hands. Raise your hands high. It's okay. This ain't a trick question. Because you took a case for somebody? But what is your guilt in the part? Why was you with the some bitch you took the case for? Because we're guilty of something.
Choices and consequences. Here's the 5-second rule. I teach this to my high school kids that I mentor. If you ever have to think about something for 5 seconds, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't tell you how many college and high school athletes that could have been great athletes, and all of a sudden this dude comes up and says, "Hey, babe, come on, get in the car. Where we going? Well, I got some chicks over here. We got some wine. We got some weed. We're going to have a great time, and let's go." And you get in the car, and you may be just sitting there, and all of a sudden you're driving down the road. This guy's high as hell. Got a bag of weed in the car, cocaine in the back seat. All of a sudden, pulled over. Your ass is gone. You're in the car with the people that's breaking the law. And what if they have an accident and kill somebody? Even worse. Don't do it. What you're trying to do when you justify it. You know what's right and wrong. It takes this long to have your life changed. The snap of a finger. Your life can change. It's all up here. It's all up here. So let me give you the 3 rules of how to become a person of character and integrity. And don't ever forget these rules. There's 3 rules. Rule number 1, you do the right thing.
Can you say that?
Do the right thing.
Rule number 2, always do the right thing.
What's rule number 2?
Always do the right thing.
What's rule number 2?
Always do the right thing.
What's rule number 1?
Do the right thing.
Rule number 3, repeat rules number 1 and 2. If you remember that and live by that, you'll be wearing rainbow colored stuff. You won't be in your white uniforms. That's what's the difference between being here and being out there. Be a person of character and integrity. And those are 3 simple rules. And when you break those rules, then it's choices and consequences. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future.
Wow. Show me your friends.
Let me ask you a question. How many of you would really like to have a really a great job and a great opportunity? Working for one of my companies. Starting salary would be, start off paying you $100,000 a year.
Why y'all hands now just coming up? Why y'all didn't want to work before?
We give you a car allowance, credit card.
Look back in the back of the staff. Staff. Staff.
You all in?
I received that. I received it.
You're ready, right? Okay. All right. Now let me ask this question. Be truthful. Be truthful.
Listen.
Be truthful. How many of you are doing 110% effort every day, become the best that you could be as a person?
Wait a minute
Be
now.
truthful now.
Because some of us ain't there yet. And if you're not there yet, everybody put your hand down.
Because
Who working on it but ain't quite there yet? There's a truthful answer.
I want to see how many of you, and be honest, I don't want to say, yeah, like, okay, yeah. Because if you're not honest, though, you never be involved with me. How
So
many of
listen
you,
to what he's saying.
how many of you are doing the best that you could be, and you're to be the best person that you can be? Raise your hand. Yeah. With those of you who aren't doing the best you can be, why would anybody ever want to hire you? There's so many people out there, so much competition in the world to get a job, to get an opportunity. People who show up early, people who stay late. When I was a kid growing up, my dad used to tell me, son, I don't care what you do, son. My dad lived in a small town when parents were hardworking people. He said, son, I don't care if you become a janitor, if you clean windows, or become a doctor, whatever you do with your life, you be the first one there and the last one to leave. You show up every day with a good attitude and a positive mental attitude. Because when a boss, if your problems are more important than the boss's problems, then you won't be around very long. Make a difference. Make a difference in life. Have a purposeful life. Don't give up now. Today is the first day for the rest of your life. And I want to hear good things about you. Now, you've got a manual, and that's the Jazzy course. Jazzy is not a jazz band. It's not a dancing group. I'm going to give you a formula that I teach to the kids in high school. E plus R equal O. Or you can substitute the E for P. E or P plus R equal O. If you remember this formula, and anything that comes up in your life, anything, if you have a problem here in this university that you're learning how to have life skills, or with your family, or with anything in life, E plus R equal O. Okay?
And what does it mean, Dad?
I forgot. It's a secret to life. It's a secret to success. E is wherever the event or the problem is, whatever it is, plus your response to that event or problem will equal the outcome. So if you want a different outcome to the problem, you better change your response.
One more time, Dad.
E plus R
E
equals O.
This is the most important part. This group needs to hear me say. Guess what kind of dope he was doing? Marijuana. Oh, it's just weed, Miss Kathy. It's gonna be legal, Miss Kathy. He was a professional athlete who was drug tested.
You start there, it's not where you finish.
That's right.
You start there, it's not where you finish.
And if you've already been there and you get out thinking, and you know that you got the disease of addiction, and you get out and somebody gonna say, oh man, I'm smoking this weed
Just try this.
for my disability.
You don't start with cocaine first. You start on the simple things. A lot of kids, 15, 14, is your kid, and you start doing that stuff, It doesn't help you, it makes you goofy. But also it takes away your drive, it takes away your ambition. Today, everything's cool, baby. Yeah. That's real good, you know. Now, if you're 60 years old and you got everything made, you don't give a shit, well, you can do what you want to do. But you know, when you try to get ahead, try to live a clean life, this is all you got, gang. This is it. This is the most powerful. You got all these computers. I mean, that's above my pay grade. I mean, my phone goes off, I go crazy. You don't know what button to push. God gave us this. They say God didn't create people equal. He gave everybody a brain to think. I mean, we didn't born with the money. We weren't born with the golden spoon in our mouths. It's okay. But we have a start. As long as we got our mind, as long as we got our mouth, as long as we believe in ourselves, as long as we have confidence when you talk to somebody, you know what? First impressions, if you don't make a good first impression, you don't have a chance to make a second impression. In today's life, there's so much competition out there. Think about it. I'm not talking about having a good job. Things today, girls are doing jobs that men used to do. Men are doing jobs that women used to do. Everybody wants an opportunity to do better. So it's not good enough anymore just to be good. You really got to work hard, be honest, be on time, do more than somebody asked you to do. I had 40 athletes when I was a sports agent. Now, a little bit about me. I was a dentist by profession, retired from dentistry. I became a sports agent. 1980, I did something. How many are football fans in here? All right. Got a lot of cheerleaders. And you know, when the student rules coming up, you'd be playing football. If women play on a football team, or men playing on a women's basketball team. It's crazy what's going on. It's all about competition. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants something better. So when you get out of these doors and you go out in the world, you've got to change your life step at a time, step at a time. Winning is not everything. Preparing yourself to win is. You're not going to win every football game. You're not going to win every job you go after. But you got to be prepared. When you walk in to make that impression, have your shoes shined. Look nice. Don't walk in a mini skirt or sandals or slippers or whatever.
House shoes,
Present yourself
slippers,
right.
Flip-flop bonnets.
We are responsible for our own future. But with a plan and hard work, we can accomplish anything and make our dreams come true. These are facts. These aren't just words that are written. If you follow the Jazzy programs, you'll be on the right track for success. I'm just going to hit you with just a few titles here. What's in it for me? Everything. If you pay the price and you have your goals and your plan, then you can become successful. It's not what you are today, it's what you want to become. If you want to change your life, follow the rules. I'm going to end this today with one thing we read every time, every day, when we have Jazzy class. And those of you who've got the book here, the curriculum, turn to the last page where it says, don't cheat. Where it says man, we'll call it woman. It says, and I want you to read with me, instead of man, we say woman. It says, and think about this. Every morning when you get up and you look in the mirror, every night when you go to bed, when you look in the mirror, I want you to really think about this. When you want you to ring the bell, you can unring it. Every time you look in the mirror, there's only two people in the world, me and the man in the mirror. That's the other person. Me and the man in the mirror. Ain't nobody else counts. Because we're either going to make it or we're going to blow it. We're either going to be wearing white uniforms or we're going to be able to wear whatever the hell we want to wear. Okay? When you get all you want and you struggle for wealth, read this with me, the ones who got the book. And the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that woman has to say. For it isn't your mother, your father, or coach whose judgments upon you must pass, but the woman whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. She's a woman to please, never mind all the rest, for she's with you right up to the end. And you've passed your most difficult and dangerous test if the woman in the glass is your friend. You may be like Jack Horner in Chisel Plum, and you think you're a wonderful woman, but the woman in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look her straight in the eye. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years and take pats on the back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartache and tears if you cheated the woman in the glass. Thank you.
Okay. Have a seat. So, this book that some of you all didn't even open, and some didn't get to have one yet, I don't give a shit if you can't read. Let somebody read it to you. Yes. If you want what you really say you want, the answer, and he gave me the answers before he even published this. He just sat me down and he talked to me. And for those who can read but don't understand what they read, and for those who can't read but you can understand what I say, this is why I want to empower you with the curriculum that turned my entire worthless, trashless, hopeless, dreadful, not even a low life. I was lower than what they call a no life. Into this life. I only knew how.
Thank you.
And when I finally heard him, and he empowered me, when he put these teeth in my head, he gave me the world. Because he empowered me with something that not just fed me, but it feeds millions. And then let me ask you this. When you just gonna get tired of begging somebody for some shit? You know? Even the wealthiest of the wealthiest. If you're a billionaire, you're living in a billionaire status, it still ain't enough money. If you're a multi-millionaire, don't tell him I told you. It still ain't enough money, is it, Daddy?
Money comes and goes, there's no home. You know what? I never learned how to live until I learned how to give.
But he ain't no fool. And what it's going to take for me to reach out to all of your counties and find the dentists that are going to be willing to accept the vouchers. I don't care if we don't do nothing but remove all the bad ones and you have to wear dentures for a while or partial, or you got one missing or two. You see what I'm saying? Somebody just might need to have a good deep gum and enamel cleaning. Because everybody in smoke dope. Where are my people who never done drugs in here? Now watch this, Daddy. Watch this. How many of us can put a lot of foreign DNA? When you get your new teeth, you're going to be very careful whose DNA go into your body and your body. All them spirits. And we ain't talking about the Holy Spirit. What my godfather is here doing today is not a handout.
It's a handout.
But here's the deal. And I need you to really hear this. When you're in the dorm and it's time to go program, get your, scoot your, slide your, hop your, run your, tip your ass to groove. When you're asked to make your bunk, when they tell you stop hanging drawers on the end of the bunk, when they tell you to stop storing all that shit at the foot of the bunk, when it's your time to clean, when it's your time to do whatever it is. When you're asked, this is practice for your future, your life. When you're sitting there holding on to that shit that has kept you sick, and I constantly tell you your secrets make you sick. And then sick people make other people sick. Then hurt people hurt other people. And you want to know why I can't ever get ahead. When Miss Levine and this staff and myself have begged, when you're out on this property, I keep telling you the world now is looking at you. You're already throwing the rope back to teach the multitudes that recovery is not a dream. It's a reality for those who want to live in the real. I don't care how low can you go? 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 And I got up. Follow some simple, basic suggestions and instructions that have been proven to work. Now let me tell y'all something. Don't tell him. It didn't cure me being thrown off. Because let me tell you something. The day you lose your humor, you lose your soul. For everything, there's a proper time and space. I'm still working on that, Dad. I'm working on that, Mr. Devine. Because she says you can't take me nowhere.
Let me say one thing. I want to say one thing to you. I mentor high school kids. And the first thing I tell them in the morning, think about it very carefully what I'm going to tell you. The first thing that you do when you get out of bed is make your bed. That's your first chore in the day. You're starting off your day. You take your bed, not just throw the covers on, put the sheet in, throw the pillow on it. You make your bed like you're really proud. That's the first chore you do in the morning. You make your bed, you stand back and look at it, make it, there's a wrinkle here. Look at it. Perfect. Perfect. That's how you start your day. And you know what? Listen to this carefully. If you do this for 21 days in a row, that becomes a habit. See, you know, in life, there's good habits and there's bad habits. Habits are hard to break. So if you have good habits, it just keeps going on as good habits. If you have bad habits, well, good luck. Because you'll need a lot of it.
Always worried about what the next woman said. Then we get mad, this bitch in my business. I can't stand that hoe. That bitch make me sick. Oh, I can't stand being in this dorm with this hoe. Oh, this staff don't like me. I need you to look at you. What is it about you that would make anybody not like you? Sometimes what you're accusing others of, you have those traits. Oh, and girl, you know I ain't mean to leave you out, baby. My little Asian persuasion. What they call you names? What kind of names they call y'all?
They call me Ling Ling.
Chink, Ling Ling. They got all kind of jokes, don't they? Fuck them. When you're on this yard, so fucking what if it's the penitentiary? It is what it is. And guess what? If we had followed the recipe, every one of us knew about the penitentiary before we got here. Everybody's got a TV, legally or illegally. Watch some damn Law and Order. Back in our day, 1 Adam 12. Miami Vice. What's that old man name? Perry Mason. Murder, She Wrote. In the heat of the night. Barnaby Jones. Andy goddamn Griffin. I'm just telling you. We have the opportunity to touch millions of lives. Somebody see all of us get our teeth fixed. Somebody else is going to want to jump on the bandwagon because there are millions of us in this country that are going to need. And then everybody will say, why didn't we think of that? The Jewish bastard and the crackhead hoe. What a team.
What a team.
And we're getting ready to do question and answers. Because I want you all to ask my father what you want to ask him, and he's going to give you the best answer that he can. Don't ask him nothing that you can't handle the truth that he's going to tell you. Because he's going to tell you, and his feelings are just as valid as yours. Okay? So I need you all. This is not just a prison program. I sat on that witness stand all the other day and been in that trial all week, and I fly out at 6 a.m. in the morning to go as an expert witness to Dallas for a little girl that was 19 that murdered her pimp. And she's 22 now, and they're offering her, they gave her capital murder. He'd been pimping her since she was 12. And he sent some people in there to rape her. And she knew that he had set her up with these people. Maybe he didn't know they was gonna rape her, but he booked her on a call for a group of men. And they raped her. And after they raped her, they let her leave. And then she goes down to her car and calls her pimp. And she says, my car isn't working, can you come help me? And I got your money. That's what made him come. And when he got there, she shot him here, 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 everywhere she could. And then she took the money out of his pocket. And all that's on camera. But the video does not show the years of sexual abuse and molestation and trauma. And she was molested from the age of 3 all the way up until she was sold by her family to a pimp for prostitution. So I'm to fly up, hopefully to get it reduced from capital murder down to murder. So for all of the people, they told you, oh, you going to that whole program. Yeah, it is a whole program, helping others excel. And we some hoes helping others excel successfully. And the key to your car of success is sitting right here. It don't matter where you live, what county you're from, and it don't matter how much time you got or don't have. If you just follow some simple suggestions while you're here and after you leave. Everybody ain't coming back to Houston. I get it. But I don't care if you're going to bumfuck Egypt. If you got this, you got a shot at it. on top of what Miss Levine and the staff has put together for us to do? Nobody want to go to the penitentiary. Nobody want to go to rehab. We in the dope house, we just got a whole kilo, we smoking. And here my black ass comes to mind. Y'all ready to go rehab? Really? And is it fun? But watch this. Those who have been in here for a while, it's still prison, but you can't tell me this ain't 100 times better than general population. And unfortunately, general population doesn't have access and the key to your success and the founder of my key.
Clean now, so you can see.
So now, don't everybody bum rushing.
Hello, Dr. Argovtiz.
Hi there.
My name is Angela, and when I'm released, when I parole out of here and I come to Houston, I guess y'all are in the Houston area, you mentioned a job. I need a job. I want to come work and I want to be successful. I want to be part of what Kathy's doing. I turn 52 next Tuesday. I only have a little bit of time left. I want to be.
What's a little bit of time?
I got another 50 years.
No, I mean, when you
All right, that's a little bit. Just a number.
So, a little bit of time. I have a 20-year sentence, and I come up for parole next year. It'll be my first time up for parole. But I'm trying to take all the steps that I can take to be able to make parole when I come up for parole.
What do you want to do with your life?
I don't want to go back to where I was. I was.
For sure.
What I want to do with my life, I want to be productive. I want to reach out to other women like me. I have been where Miss Kathy's been. I've got prostitution charges. I've got drug charges. So Miss Kathy, I've been there, and I know where you've been, and I've been there. And I want to reach out to other women like me. And I think it starts when they're young. You know, I want to give back.
Are you ready to start now?
Yes, sir.
Well, while you're here, that's the things you work on. You see other people here that aren't as far along as you are. You help them.
Yes, sir.
And you teach them to help the next one, and you start your own mission right here.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's how you practice. So you help people get out.
It's 20 years old when I get there.
And you know what? Age is just a number. When I meet people, I met a really nice, beautiful girl not too long ago. And she asked me, she says, how old are you? I guess she's flirting with me, I think. And I said, I'm 34 years old. I said, but I've got 50 years of experience. Always tell the truth.
Did you get that? Yeah. Who didn't get that? He said he's 34, but he got 50 years experience. What is 50 plus 34? 84. Hey, my name
Well, young lady, I think you got your idea what you want to do with your life. You now start today to be the kind of better person that you want to become.
Yes, sir.
And every day you practice on it. Every day, it's positive mental attitude. You have to have a positive attitude. Sometimes things don't go the way you want them. Some people can just be pissed off at the world, mad, irritated. And all it does is make everybody around you want to get away from you, or those that hang with you will be pissed off too.
Yes, sir.
So you make a difference. Start today. Change your life. And look in the mirror. You'll know if you screwed up. Every one of you will know when you screw up. I've planted the seed You will never, ever, 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 ever forget what I told you today. When you look in the mirror, no matter how hard you try it, you're not going to make it. You'll remember what this old fella up here has told you. It's you and me, the woman in the mirror, and if you cheat on her, you're only a bum. So if you want to be the kind of person, if you don't love yourself, why would you cheat yourself? Don't cheat yourself.
Thank you so much. For
You're welcome. Good luck to you. Yeah. You're welcome. Hey there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
I wanted to thank you for taking the time out your day to come and speak to us. And I also wanted to thank Kathy. I'm here on a 5-year sentence, and I have a story very similar to her.
Tell me.
I was in active addiction for over 20-something years, prostituting. My drug of choice was crack cocaine. I've cheated myself pretty much my whole life, but I wanted to thank Kathy, and even though I'm on a 5-year sentence, I don't look at it like I've lost time. I've actually gained something. I've gained something, and meeting Miss Kathy Griffin has been an opportunity of a lifetime. I will never forget her. She's a hero to me. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
You've been here for 5 years. You know what? I mean, what I hear is, and I like your attitude. You got a positive attitude, and you use this like it's like going to college.
Yes.
This is how you learn about life. This is how you learn about yourself. This is how you have to have self-confidence. If you start off, like I said, every day, you start with one chore. Your first thing in the morning, every day, rest of your life, you make your bed, stand back and look at it, pat yourself on the shoulder. Say, my day's going to be a good day today. My first chore is done. Now, every one of you who don't do it, when you go to brush your teeth, you're going to think about it. Why in the hell did I make my bed today? Oh, you slept too late? Don't make excuses. Don't become a victim. This is the first way you start to turn your life around. First thing you do, you've achieved it. Take a small step. It doesn't happen all of a sudden because I screwed up before and I'm just all of a sudden I'm going to be over here. It don't work that way. A step at a time, step at a time. But always a step you take, make it in the right direction. Don't be going this way, this way, and this way. You're going sideways. Set your goal, have a plan to get there, and become the person that you want to be. Don't make excuses. Don't become a victim. Don't keep worrying about the things, the shit you did. That's history. That's in your rearview mirror as you're driving out of town. That's back here. Don't keep putting yourself down, beating yourself up. That's history. What can I do to become a better person today? What can I do to help somebody else? Get along in the world. If you can give somebody else good advice, that's what life's about, to help your fellow person. And they can give you good advice back. It will make you feel better when you help somebody else.
And let me add to that. When you give somebody your advice, make sure you're following your own advice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, a question that I did have is, I'm not from Texas, I'm actually from Florida. So when I get out, I'm hoping that I can get my parole transferred to Florida. But would the opportunity to get my teeth fixed still be available?
Smile for me, see what you got. Okay, well, at least you got the front ones. That's a start. It could have been worse. Could have had no front ones. You got backwards.
Yeah.
So that's simple. That's just that's just a step at a time. You know what you need. So if you make $10 here, $5 here, $40 here, save what you have. You know that's a goal that you have, and you'll achieve that goal because you know what you need.
And if you are staying in contact, even if it's by text, I prefer when you get out, don't write me these 20, 30, 40 page dissertations in books. I'm not reading it because I don't have time. You know, y'all didn't read and write that much when we was in school, and we still even do. But hit me up if I'm in court or if I'm whatever and I can't talk. When you hit me up, Miss Kathy, I'm out. This is me. Who the fuck is I? Who is me? Who are you? Say, I know you remember my face, Miss Kathy. I know you don't know none of our names unless we was bad actors or comedians. What's your name? Kennedy.
Identify yourself.
Identify yourself.
Don't say when they see your letter, you have to identify yourself. Letter.
And I graduated from ORTF. I'm the one going to Florida, hopefully.
Yes.
I made it to Florida, or I didn't make it to Florida, Miss Kathy. And if you come to Houston, to stay connected, come to whole class. It's every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. That don't mean you gotta come every Wednesday, I mean, cause you could be working, but if you ain't doing nothing else but goofing off, you need to be at whole class, at my office, in that courtroom. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing community events. Helping folks help us.
Let me ask you a question too, what you said. You're going to Florida. Now, when will you possibly be going to Florida?
When
When you get out, how long for you?
Well, I've been here 18 months already. I see parole again in August.
So you're on a 5-year,
My 5-year.
and how much time have you all seen 5-year people do? 2. Maybe if you mess up 2.5, correct?
Well, you know what? Today's time, timing is everything in life. There are so many people looking for jobs, people in business looking for people to come to work. There's more opportunity today than there's been for many, many years as far as people looking for people to come work. You go into a restaurant. I was in Walmart not too long ago. You got 15 checkout counters. I bought $100 worth of dog food for my dogs. There's one checkout booth. There's a line of 10 people.
Ain't got nobody to work.
And all these other things are open, but I don't know how to operate those damn things that you put your credit card in and do that.
Self-checkout.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. So I'm standing in line like an idiot. And one guy in front of me, he had some bananas and some stuff and a few things. He said, I'm leaving. I watched him. He said, if they can't wait on me, so I'm taking this shit with me. He turned around and walked out. So, but so today's an opportunity when you get out, if you don't get a job, it's not because you're not trying hard enough.
I go to school every
Don't
day.
y'all walk out with them people shit?
I'm working on my education while I'm in here. I go to school 6 hours a day for business information management, so I'm learning Word and Excel, and I'm trying to better myself in any way that I can while I'm here.
Wonderful. That's what you would do. Positive thinking. Good luck to you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, she was next. No, who was next? Her. Okay, come on. If you got a question, go back there. Come on up, baby.
How y'all doing?
Hey, baby.
My question is, how can we bring this program?
What's your name first?
Eloisa.
All right. I like that name. All right.
I was wondering, how can we bring this whole program to my county?
Where's your
I'm
county?
from Everett County, Odessa, Midland.
Can I
Oh,
answer that,
this-
Dad?
Yeah.
You just got in this program, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Here's how you take this program to your county. You take it. I'm old. ain't gonna be here forever. The whole intent for me, as one of the core purposes that I do this, it was to throw the rope back to y'all.
Teach the teacher.
And you stop talking about, I want to be like Miss Kathy. Be better than Miss Kathy. I want to take away every excuse we had for why we will not make it. And one of the first things that I teach, everybody, say the word can't. Can't. Say it again. Can't. Say it again. Can't. Now when you say the word can't, you gotta work your diaphragm, right? Can't. Now just say the word can. It's so much easier to can than to can't. Especially if you got COPD, because we've been smoking that shit. It's so much easier to say can. I will.
So you say can means you won't.
And watch
And you don't.
And watch won't. That's another. I was just getting ready. You read my mind.
Thank
Say
you.
the word won't. Won't. Take the T off. One. You'd be surprised, all of the gold is already in your hands. All of it. Everything we was going to get it to come back with it. We've already had it. And just by circumstance, you didn't have it. After the day you got it. Now what you gonna do with it? I'm not gonna turn my it into shit. Well, Miss Kathy, they got them damn cameras. They putting on a show. But for you new people that don't know me, we being real nice today because we cut something in here. And we ain't got now camera. Nowhere. The only purpose of the camera today is the world needs to know about a simple formula that changed a wretch like me. We've been singing Amazing Grace, all the music, didn't know what the hell half that shit meant. I'm just saying. The same girl that had to go pee behind the trash dumps and take the paper bag that somebody's beer can was in to wipe to dry. How many people know that? Look at her. The same person that we was in the crack house together, we had a 25-cent bag of chips, the little bitty one, and a 25-cent soda. And we all shared that. Oh, but we get so high and mighty. Oh my God. All you need to do is just take your rearview mirror moment, and think back to the very first time you shared a pipe or a nutsack or some lips or some dictation, because we were in the profession of being secretaries. And it wasn't no soap more nowhere, no Manson girl either. And we sharing pipes with all kind of bacteria and germs. But we was going to get and come back and we brought this shit back, I'm just saying. Once you, and everybody's different. I get that somebody doesn't want to let go of the thing they didn't want God or the devil to know. But both of them know it and you do too, and whoever you did it with know it. So you ain't the only person know it. We ain't got no damn secrets, first of all. I don't want anybody to know I'm in the prison. Newsflash! For $4.99, you can Google everybody and find out where you are and why you're up in here. You can even do it free. For 99 cents. Stop wanting something always free, because free costs too much. We were getting all this dope for free. Where you sitting today? I ain't have to hold because I was with the dope man. Where the dope man and where you? And if you was the dope woman or the dope man or whatever, where you? This will teach you the basics on even. It don't matter what kind of money you get. And he taught me this a long time ago. I don't even know if it's in here. It don't matter how much money you got. It's about how you manage what you have. We the best of the best once we get locked up. Because if you know you ain't got but $20 on your books, you ought to see y'all with that commissary slip. Well, I can get one soup. I got to have my coffee. It's between the coffee and the body wash. Fuck that body wash, I'll use this last soap. Can I get an amen? Amen! That part. Watch this. Y'all know how cold it get down here, right? Think back to the cold days. Somebody told me this hot. Think back. When that wind be cutting up. Because y'all know we're in this rice field, right? And we have our best friends, those green fucking jackets. Them turtles, we're the Ninja Turtles. And they look thin, but they really work, don't they? They make good pillows. Hood. So I want you to know. It's warm. Well, y'all missing it. Man, she stole my jacket. That should belong to the state. Don't step on my house. Stop claiming this bunk as your house. Might be why you keep coming back to this. You've got to practice and speak your life into your life. He just told you about the mirror. Well, how long I gotta go to this program, Miss Kathy? Well, how many days exactly you been high? Give me the exact number. A lot ain't the number. A lot ain't the number. How many dicks have you sucked? The exact number. How many cooches have you kissed? The exact number. How many pubic hairs many grapes did you eat in the store you didn't pay for? Individually. How much makeup you stuck in your purse? How much secret contraband y'all fucking with in this business? Now, yeah. How much illegal bleach y'all done bought for soup? Coffee, soup, peppermint stick, rainbow stick, ice cream. Cause you know you gotta hurry up, eat that shit. I'll buy you ice cream if you.
One thing. They only let you get one now, Miss Kathy.
That's all we was able to get. How much ice cream can you eat from the commissary there? Cause especially in the 9 million. It's gonna be melted before you. I would pass flat, smack dab the fuck out. And that comes. Y'all even got covers. We were standing in that sun. But it's freezing cold. Go back. You got your green Ninja Turtle jacket. Sometimes they take them up too quick. Okay. And you know your ass is cold as hell. And you got $40 on your books, finally. Now mind you had no money for 6 months, but now you got $40 on your books. And they sell thermal t-shirts. And they got your coffee. And they finally have the kind of chips you've been dying for to go in your soup. And you can actually get a long john with sausage nuts. And your cheese bread for all your cheese eaters. Let me just finish this. Now you freezing, but you'd rather not buy that thermal, because you need that coffee, that cheese, and them soups, and them chips. So you have learned to manage, and you get to pick and choose what you feel is a necessity. If you do not feel that success is a necessity, then don't fuck with this book. Don't waste your time. Because everybody's not born to win if they don't claim it. Come on, that's part of it. Come on, count it, Ms. Ward, Officer Ward. Part 8.
When I call your name, y'all have a seat, okay? Galindo, Mueller, Duran, Gonzaga, Boulay. Where you at?
There she is.
Y'all say here or something?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Boulay.
Okay, McCarty. Mojave. Bial. Williams. Jordan. Moses. Gat. Johnson. Ramos. Bowens. Chambers. Vogel. Landrum. Pena. Altman. Harville. Torres.
Even my father has to take a bathroom break. But there will be no excuse or excuses but you. I don't care where you go. It's not that hard to just pull a few pieces. Everything in it, remember, this is what he teaches to his professional athletes. The ones that follow this recipe are very wealthy individuals with families, and they've retired, some of them, and they have businesses and corporations. This is the man I told y'all was in business with Donald Trump. They were partners. When he started the USL Football League, and Donald Trump went down as the man who destroyed the USFL. He did. And you remember the USFL had to break up, and now they're back empowered again. But he said to me, the same principles apply to us. And he teaches all over the world in the universities and schools and stadiums named after him and all kind of shit. Straight up. All I had to do was just follow some simple instructions. What's rule number 1?
Do the right thing.
What's rule number 2?
Always do the right thing.
And what's rule number 3?